Imagine going through life thinking your family loves you, only to find out they've been secretly calling you a pathetic failure. How would you react? Emma's world was shattered in one unexpected moment, and it changed everything. It all started with a simple notification. My phone buzzed while I was in the middle of making dinner. I wiped my hands on a towel and absent-mindedly grabbed it, thinking it was just a random message, maybe a family video. But when I opened it, I froze. It was from my aunt. The video was shaky, like someone had set their phone down without realizing it was recording. At first, I thought nothing of it, until I heard my mom's voice. Emma should be grateful. She'd be nothing without us. My stomach sank. My heart dropped to my feet. The voices came through clear, almost too clear. A pathetic failure. That's what Emma is, my dad added with a laugh. But at least she's good for something, paying our bills. I could feel the blood drain from my face. Then my aunt's voice cut in. If Emma ever stops sending money, we just guilt her into it. She's too soft to say no. I gripped my phone tighter, my body going numb. It wasn't just a joke. They weren't talking about someone else. They were talking about me, the very person who'd been there for them, covering their rent, paying their debts, sacrificing my own savings just so they wouldn't struggle. And this is what they really thought of me. Suddenly, the video disappeared. Message unsent. I stared at the notification in disbelief. My aunt must have realized her mistake and panicked. She probably deleted it, thinking I hadn't seen. But I had. I should have confronted her, called her out, let them know that I knew exactly what they thought of me. But instead I didn't say a word. Not yet. I had a plan. The next morning, everything seemed normal. The sun peeked through the curtains just like any other day. My coffee brewed, the same as it always did. But something felt different. There was an awareness I couldn't shake, like I was seeing my life from a new perspective, one that had been clouded for too long. And then my phone buzzed. It was from my mom. A normal message. Too normal. Morning, sweetie. Just checking in. Hope you're doing well. I stared at it for a moment. She never texted me just to check in. There was always an agenda, always something she needed. Sure enough, a few minutes later, another message popped up. Oh, by the way, rent is due soon. Can you send it by Friday? There it was. The same pattern, the same request, but this time, something inside me snapped. I sat there, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. My usual response would have been something like, of course, no problem, maybe even an apology for taking too long, but not today. I erased everything I'd typed and simply wrote, I can't this month. I stared at the screen for what felt like an eternity before pressing send. Then I flew. The first few minutes felt like hours. Finally, my mom's response came through. What do you mean? I could almost hear her frustration through the screen. This was the first time I'd ever said no to her. She was confused, maybe even a little panicked. But I wasn't done. I wasn't going to back down. More messages came in. Emma, this is serious. We're counting on you. You know we don't have another option, right? Another message from my aunt. Hey, sweetie, your mom is freaking out. Is everything okay? I almost laughed. Is everything okay? Everything was more than okay. For the first time in years, I was standing my ground. I took a deep breath before replying. I have run unexpected expenses this month. I can't send anything. Sorry. That was it. No explanation. No apology. Just a hard stop. And then the silence. It was deafening. For the first time in years, I had dead no, and they didn't know how to handle it. I could see the 3 little dots on my screen. My mom trying to come up with the right words to make me cave. Then the texts came pouring in. What do you mean? Unexpected expense. What could possibly be more important than your family? There it was. The guilt trip. The manipulation. The words that always came when I refused to do what they wanted. But I wasn't backing down. As the minutes dragged on, I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. My phone buzzed again. More texts. More demands. My mom wasn't going to give up easily. You know your brother has no way to cover rent if he gets kicked, she wrote. That's on you. There it was. The classic move. Pulling the brother. She knew exactly how to push my buttons. And then another message. We raised you, Emma. We took care of you when you had nothing. Is this how you repay us? I clenched my jaw, my fingers tightening around my phone. When I had nothing, they weren't there for me. I put myself through school. I worked 3 jobs to escape that house. The moment I had money, they latched onto me like parasites, draining me dry. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm raging inside me. I put my phone down for a second, staring at the clock on the wall. I needed center myself. Then it buzzed again, a message from my aunt. Sweetheart, don't do this. We're family. Your mom is just upset. You know how she gets. Just send the rent and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Fine thing. I walked to the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, and took a slow sip. My mind was made up. For years I had been scared of this moment. Scared that if I stopped paying, they'd turn on me, that they'd cut me out. But now I knew the truth. They never loved me. They only loathed what I could give them. It was time to take control. I picked up my phone again. My hands steady now. I wasn't the scared little girl they thought I was anymore. And just then, a message from my father came through. I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is unacceptable. You're being selfish. This family needs you. Grow up and do the right thing. There it was, the final mask slipping. No more fake sweetness. No more pretending to care. Just demands, guilt, and manipulation. But I wasn't backing down. The message that followed wasn't text, it was a voice message from my aunt. My hands trembled as I hesitated. Something told me this was going to be the breaking point. I pressed play. Emma, listen. I don't know what kind of game you think you're playing, but this isn't funny. Your mother is losing her mind. Your dad's furious. And honestly, I don't blame them. You've always been a little ungrateful. But this is beyond selfish. I felt my stomach tighten, but I forced myself to keep listening. You have a good job, don't you? You make more than any of us. You don't even need that money. Meanwhile, your family is struggling, and you just wake up one day and decide you don't care anymore. Her voice took on a bitter laugh. You owe them, Emma. After everything they've done for you, after all the sacrifices they've made, they gave you life, and now you're just going to walk away. Pretend they don't exist? What kind of daughter does that? Her tone shifted then, growing colder. You know what? Fine. If you want to be that kind person, don't expect them to forgive you. Don't expect to come crawling back when you realize how much you need them. Because once you cross this line, there's no coming back. The message ended. I sat there for a moment, letting her words settle. I felt numb, but strangely, also calm. She had just confirmed everything I needed to know. They didn't love me. They didn't respect me. I wasn't a person to them. I was a resource, a bank account. And if they thought they could keep using me, they were wrong. The silence that followed was almost sweet. For the first time in years, I wasn't tethered to their needs. I wasn't at their mercy. I had taken control. But just as I thought it was over, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was from my mother. Last chance. Emma, send the rent. I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the screen. I could have ignored it, could have blocked her too. But no, I wasn't going to just hide from this. I was going to make my point. I didn't Instead, I blocked her. I blocked my dad. I blocked my aunt. Just like that. After years of being manipulated, guilt-tripped, and used, I was free. Or so I thought. There was no second guessing, no regret. I had done the right thing. Then the doorbell rang. I froze. I knew exactly who it was. Another knock, louder this time, more insistent. I didn't want to open the door, but I knew I had to face it. I took a slow breath, walked to the door and opened it. There he was, my brother. His face twisted between anger and desperation. His dulcer were wrinkled, like he hadn't slept. His eyes bloodshot and wild. Are you serious, Emma? His voice cut through me like a blade. What the hell is wrong with you? I blinked, keeping my face neutral. Good morning to you too. He scoffed and ran a hand through his already messy hair. Don't do that. Don't act like this isn't a big deal. You blocked everyone. Mom's freaking out. Dad's losing his mind. You're just cutting us off, pretending we don't exist? I crossed my arms, leaning against the door frame. I don't know, Jason. Maybe I just got tired of being treated like a piggy bank. His jaw clenched. Oh my God, not this again. I let out a bitter laugh. Not this again. I've been paying your rent for years, covering your bills, your food, even your gym membership. And the one time I say no, the one time I set a boundary, Mom calls me a selfish brat. Dad says I'm unacceptable, and you up at my door like I committed a crime. His lips parted as though he was going to argue, but no words came out. I kept going. And don't even try to pretend you care about me. I saw the video. His face went pale. For the first time, real fear flashed in his eyes. What video? He asked, shifting uncomfortably. I smiled, but it wasn't kind. You know exactly what fear. Jason shifted on his feet, glancing away, his hands balled into fists. Look, it wasn't serious, okay? We were just joking. You're being dramatic. I cut him off. Joking? Really? My voice was quiet but sharp as glass. You all sat around laughing, calling me a pathetic failure, saying I should be grateful for the chance to pay your bills. Do you know what that feels like, Jason? To hear your own family talk about you like that? He exhaled harshly, rubbing his face. Emma, come on. No, I said, cutting him off again. No, Jason. You want money? Get a job. You want someone to take care of you? Find someone else. I'm done. A silence settled between us. He just stood there, staring at me, the raw emotion flickering across his face, but disappearing as quickly as it came. You don't mean that, he muttered. I held his gaze. Yes, I do. Another silence, longer this time. His expression hardened, and his mouth twisted into something ugly. Fine, he spat. You want to be a selfish buck. Go ahead, but don't come crawling back when you realize you have no one left. And with that he turned and walked away. I stood there, watching him go. My chest was tight, but my spine was straight. He was wrong. I did have someone left. I had myself. The door clicked shut, and just as I exhaled, my phone buzzed again. I glanced at it, the familiar name flashing on the screen. My mother. But I wasn't going to pick up. Not this time. For too long I had been at her mercy. Her demands, her guilt trips, using my sense of responsibility against me to manipulate me into giving up everything I had. Not anymore. I turned my phone over face down and walked away. The truth was, I was done. Done with being the constant source of money, the safety net that kept my family afloat when they couldn't be bothered to make their own way in the world. Done with the lies, the manipulation. They never once asked how I was doing. Never once thought about the toll it took on me to be the one always picking up the slack. I had carried their weight for years. My mother's, my father's, my brothers, all of them acting like I owed them something. Like my life was just one long endless repayment for everything they had sacrificed for me. But no one had ever cared about me. Now I was taking control. The next day, the weight of my decision hung in the air. I felt the silence settle into my bones, but there was no regret, no second guessing. I had made the right choice. Then, as if the universe was testing me, the doorbell rang again. I wasn't surprised. I knew exactly who it was. Another knock. This time, louder, more frantic. I stood up, my heart thumping, but I had already made my choice. I wasn't going to let anyone make me feel guilty anymore. I opened the door. It was Jason again. His expression was a mix of frustration and desperation. His eyes wide. You need to listen to me, he said. His voice softer now, almost pleading. I didn't invite him in. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. I don't need to listen to anything you have to say. Jason. He blinked, taken aback by my calm. No, you don't understand. His voice was quieter, almost desperate now. Mom's freaking out. Dad's calling me. They don't know how to fix this. You can't just leave us hanging like this. I scoffed, leaning against the doorframe. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was just going to keep enabling you keep paying for your rent, your bills, and pretending everything was fine? He looked shocked, his jaw tightening. No, Jason, I continued, my voice steady, but cold. I'm done. I don't care how much you, or mom or dad beg. I'm done playing the role of the family ATM. His eyes flickered with anger, but there was something else beneath it. A flicker of guilt. You're acting like we've never done anything for you, like we're all just users, right? I didn't flinch. Oh, believe me, I know exactly what I've been to you all. I've been a cash machine, a free ride, and I'm tired of it. His face twisted, his fists clenching at his sides. You'll regret this, he spat. You'll regret cutting us off. I couldn't help but laugh. No, Jason, you'll regret it, because I'm not the one who needs you anymore. Without waiting for a response, I slammed the door in his face. For the first time in years, I felt a sense of relief. It felt good, but I knew the drama wasn't over. Not yet. Later that night, my phone buzzed again. I almost didn't want to check it, but curiosity got the better of me. It was from my dad. We raised you, Emma. Don't think you can just walk away from everything we've done for you. You're making a huge mistake. Come back. We'll talk about it. We'll fix this. I sat there for a moment, the phone still in my hand. I could have ignored it, could have blocked him too, but no, I wasn't going to just block them. I was going to make them pay for every lie, every moment they took me for granted. It was time to remind them who was in control. I stood up, walked to my desk, and opened my laptop. It was time to send them a message they'd never forget. I started typing. First, I gathered every financial record, every payment I'd ever made to cover their mistakes. I wasn't just going to let them walk back into my life as if nothing had happened. I was going to show them everything I'd done for them, the sacrifices, the endless help, and how much I'd given up. I attached the receipts, the bank transfers, the bills, and then I wrote the final message. Here's a detailed summary of everything I've done for you over the years. I'm done being your lifeline. I'll no longer be your ATM, and I'll no longer let you make me feel guilty for choosing myself. Consider this my final invoice. You don't owe me anything anymore. but you will owe yourself the realization of how much I've sacrificed. All because I thought family was supposed to help each other, not drain each other. I clicked send, and that was just the beginning. The silence that followed my message was almost peaceful. For the first time in years, I felt free. I leaned back in my chair, letting the weight of my decision wash over me. There was no more manipulation, no more guilt trips, no more pretending they had power over me. But as I sat there, I felt a nagging curiosity. I couldn't help myself. I opened the family group chat, the one where they'd always kept me on edge with their endless demands. I scrolled through the messages, reading the ones where they guilted me into helping them, where they called me their savior without ever offering a single word of thanks. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I replied, "You all talk a lot about what you've done for me, but you've forgotten how much I've given up for you. And here's the reality check. You never needed me. You just used me. I'm done." I hit send. There was no immediate response, no frantic messages asking for forgiveness. Just a quiet, lingering silence. And for once it felt like the most beautiful sound in the world. But the peace didn't last long. The next message came from Jason. "You're making a mistake, MM. You'll regret this. Family sticks together." I couldn't help but smile, though it wasn't a happy one. He was trying to manipulate me, to pull me back into the cycle of guilt and responsibility. But it didn't work anymore. I typed out a response, but it wasn't out of anger or frustration. It was out of strength. "No, Jason, you'll regret it. Because I don't need you anymore." I sent the message, and as the screen went blank, I turned off my phone for the night. That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about everything I had done for my family. The years I had spent being their emotional and financial crutch. The times I had sacrificed my own happiness and security just to make sure they were taken care of. And for what? So they could treat me like nothing more than a tool, a bank account they could drain whenever it suited them. No more. I had chosen myself for once. I had taken control of my life, my happiness, and my future. And in the end, that was the sweetest victory of all. It's wild to think about how much Emma had to endure for so long. But in the end, she took control of her life in a way no one saw coming. Instead of a dramatic confrontation, she quietly cut her family off. But the impact was the same. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about a huge blow-up or making a scene. It's about reclaiming your life, setting boundaries, and showing people that you're not a doormat anymore. So what do you think? Was Emma's choice satisfying revenge, or was it too harsh? Would you have handled it the same way, or would you have fought for the relationship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think.